Welcome to the Shootin' Show. Stand by for shots fired.
Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shootin' Show, and welcome to today's program. We're so glad to have you, whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to shooting or someone who wants to learn more about guns. You know, friends, those of us who enjoy firearms have got a tremendous job ahead of us. We've got to reach the rest of the American population and help them understand why we as shooters enjoy going out and shooting our guns, why we enjoy owning and collecting firearms. Because, you know, it's more than our constitutional right that is at stake. It's more like our way of life literally is at stake, because we have people in Washington, and let's call them what they are. They're Nazi socialist types that literally want to disarm our population, who don't trust us, the decent citizen, with firearms. And you know, you've got to contact your representatives and your senators. You've got to let them know how you feel, because, friends, now is the time. We can't be, the decent people cannot be a silent majority any longer. What we have to become, we've got to stand up, we've got to become vocal, we've got to let them know how we feel and what we're going to and what we're not going to stand for. It's got to be done. We have a great show for you today. We have some new projects that I think you're all going to be interested in, so let's go ahead and get another shooting show underway. Let's start off with our Springfield M1A. And let's take our American Derringer. Well, friends, today we're going to look at a different sort of handgun than we're normally used to seeing here on the show. And believe me, you're going to be seeing a lot more of these. These are the American Derringer guns. This is a double action 38. Of course, you can see from the picture there, it looks a lot like the old high standard style Derringer. And today's chambering here is in 38 special. All right, and the next gun we have is the Model 1 M1 with the oversized grips. Now this chambering is in 40 Smith & Wesson, and probably, in my opinion anyway, this is the best compromise caliber available from American Derringer. They have over 60 calibers that you can order these guns in, but as far as efficiency, bullet effectiveness, and all around general neat caliber, the 40 is probably my own personal favorite. And of course, here we have the 45/410, and of course you can see in the picture a 410 shot shell, in this case the triple-aught buckshot shell, and also the Great 45 Colt. And this is the original M1 model. You know, friends, these little guns, and they are small guns, they're smaller than the palm of my hand by a long shot. In fact, you can see from, in comparison to our 45 government model Colt, the Derringer there is a very small handgun. But I tell you what, these guns have a number of uses. One is a backup gun. In the right calibers, they're excellent to carry for the ladies in a purse or something like that. A tremendous concealment gun. And see, you have power available that used to never be available in such a small gun. Now someone might say, well, what about one of the small revolvers? And they're fine. There are a lot of very fine small revolvers out there, but the advantage that a Derringer has, one, is simplicity. You've got two, of course these break underneath. You have the latch. This is a Remington pattern. This pattern's been around for, oh my, who knows, since the 1800s, as far as the way this gun is put together, the design of the gun. Of course, they have several updates. One, the guns are in all stainless steel. You have a manual safety. It's much, much stronger than the original Remington Derringers. In fact, these are not cheap guns, certainly not. They're extremely well made. They're quality pieces. We're going to be showing you up close in just a moment how they work. But anyway, you'll pull the barrels up, and of course you've just got two chambers, two holes, simplicity, and if that's not good enough, they're simple. Someone may have some confusion about how to operate a revolver or a small semi-automatic. On these Derringers, though, you can see pretty much how everything works and what happens when you manually thumb cock the hammer with your thumb. The firing pin mechanism, or the mechanism internally that will enable the hammer to connect up with one of the two firing pins, it will alternate from top to bottom, from top to bottom. And as far as being able to work when they're dirty, guns like this are extremely reliable, maybe more so than most other types of repeating handguns, because there's just not much way that one can malfunction. They are extremely strong as compared, as we said a moment ago, to the original Remingtons. One, your metal is of a superior quality. And the beauty part about this particular 45/410, you do have the advantage of using the 410 shot shell cartridge, or the shotgun hull that you would use in a 410 shotgun. And what that does, it gives you a tremendous, I'm going to say snake gun, because at any or close distance you can nail a snake with one of these. Now, I wouldn't try to hunt small game with one, because you just don't have the velocity that a longer barrel shotgun would have. But for a thin-skinned animal like a snake, I would think that would be tremendous. Now, one of the things we'll talk about today, we don't want to shoot a 410 shot shell at something that could possibly ricochet back at you. You don't want to shoot, say, into a concrete, as you would with any shotgun. You wouldn't walk up to a concrete wall and shoot a shotgun into it, because some of those pellets are going to come back and possibly injure you. Well, I don't know about injure, but they'll darn sure sting. And I don't believe I would shoot into, say, some boards or something, or pipe, something like that, with the shot pellets because of the danger of ricochet. And of course, when you're shooting any time on the range, we always wear shooting glasses. But if you're on a trail somewhere, you darn sure, and shot at a snake, you want to be sure of what your backstop is. But for a fishing gun, something like that, where you're going to be concerned with snakes in the weeds there or bushes, well, I tell you what, this M1 Derringer with 45, or with the 410, I'll get it right in a minute, 410 shot shell, would be very hard to beat. Also, an advantage that the triple-aught buckshot has, and we'll look at those in just a moment, you have 3 .35 caliber pellets that weigh about 68 grains apiece. I know, because we cut one open and weighed them. And this is a low penetration load, but I would think would be an excellent self-defense load for up close and personal. And that's really where these guns are designed to be used. They're up close and personal guns. They're not for shooting out here at 10, 15, 25 yards, but for someone who's attacking you, someone, and we're going to be sure that this gun is unloaded. Yes, it is. But if someone were attacking you in the immediate, point-blank, immediate vicinity, it would be real good for self-defense up close and personal. You can put this gun in different places in your clothing, or in a carrying purse or whatever else, briefcase, easier than you could a larger gun, but you still have the advantage. And let me talk about, this is the M1 in 40 S&W. This is probably, as I said earlier, one of the most efficient chamberings, because now we fitted this one with the larger grip. This gun comes standard with the small grip that the M1s have, but for shooting the ultra-powerful ammunition. And what we've done, we shot some carbine ammunition in this gun, and it attains almost full-size gun performance. So that is really an advantage. And the American Derringer people have several different grip profiles, and they're working on, as I understand, a rubber grip, something that will be easier on your hand in recoil. But let me tell you what, this little Derringer here is no joke. You have, we chronographed the carbine 135 grain bullet at about 1,200 feet per second out of this little Derringer. Now wait a minute, friends. That is what we call, that is almost full-size 40 caliber gun performance. In fact, the carbine ammunition lends a new dimension to the 40 S&W. The standard 40 S&W is a nice caliber, but it becomes for real in carbine. And shooting, these guns shoot the carbine real well. It gives no problems. And let's take a closer look. Since we're talking about it, let's just take a closer look at these guns.
Now, friends, we are extremely pleased to be working with one of the finest magazines that you can find in the United States today, and it's called The New American. And the April 4 issue, which you see on your screen, covers issues like Toward a Police State, using a national epidemic of crime and violence as a justification, media pundits and collectivist politicians are aggressively campaigning to disarm private citizens and strengthen federal law enforcement powers. Yes, friends, this is our type of magazine, mostly because it's true. Now, these people at the New American Magazine are making a special offer available to the Shootin' Show audience for $22 for a 6-month subscription, including the April 4 issue here, which deals with gun control and the things that go on with the politicians in Washington on how they're literally trying to disarm the United States population. Now, trust me on this one. If you're a gun owner, you need to get this issue of the New American. And friends, this magazine comes twice a month. This is really a bargain. They cover all sorts of subjects, such as the Somalian quagmire, as you can see. And how about national service, if you really want the true picture of what this national service is all about. How about the conservative index for the 103rd Congress, subjects like terror in Haiti, the real Aristide. How about Bill Clinton and a question of character, which is most important to most of us, certainly as conservative Americans. And here's a tremendous article on the New World Army. Now, friends, this is one of the finest publications that I think you could find in print anywhere today. It is really a bargain. $22 for 6 months of the New American Magazine. And remember, this is 13 issues, including this powerful gun control issue. And friends, I don't think you'll be disappointed. This, in fact, if you want to be informed about what's going on in the United States and all sorts of issues that are so important to every last one of us who are really patriotic citizens, you need to start getting the New American. Now, to get it, you can call them at 1-800-727-TRUE, and those numbers are 8783, 1-800-727-8783, and be sure and tell them that you saw it here on the Shootin' Show. It is such an important publication for our time, friends, and to really be informed, if you want to know the truth about what's going on in this country and around the world, again, you need the New American. 1-800-727-TRUE 8783, the New American. The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now, friends, we're looking at our Model 1 here in 40 S&W, and let me show you how it works. You have a spring-loaded, here's your little spring plunger there, push it in and rotate the lever back, and the barrels literally open upwards, see? And on this particular gun, you'll notice there is no ejector because it's for a semi-automatic pistol cartridge, a rimless cartridge, but never fear, you can just pull them right out with your finger or they'll fall out. This one's been shot a good bit, and we'll just have to take them out with our fingernails. Very simple. And to close the gun, of course, you would load it and close it like so. Now, the hinge here is tight from the factory on these guns, and that's to ensure long life, because some people are going to go out and shoot these things and shoot them, which they will certainly do. If you're a lady or an older person who might not have too much strength in your fingers, and of course I don't think they're objectionable, it's just tight, the factory can loosen this up for you, and they'll do that for you if you so desire. Now then, we've closed our barrels. We're going to rotate our lever back, our locking lever here. And this is the manual safety right here. And the safety, depressed, it is on. When you cock the gun to shoot it, it automatically comes out and the gun's ready for firing. So you see, you cock it back a little bit, push the safety on, and now you can drop the gun or whatever else. It's not going to go off because this is a hammer block safety. A very well thought out, a very positive mechanism. Now, this is the larger optional grip. In shooting the heavier kicking calibers, it's really an advantage. So if you're going to go out and really learn to shoot the gun and practice with it, I recommend having two sets of grips, the standard small grips to carry and the larger grips to really practice with the gun with. All right, let's load the gun.
And before you load it, this is really important, before you even think about loading it, the first thing you're going to do is pull that hammer back a little bit and depress, put that safety on, because that's going to protect you from any kind of accident in the loading cycle here. We'll open our gun and we'll get a couple of 40 S&W shells and just push them right in place. And yes, we are shooting the core bond, because this really makes this 40 S&W into a serious gun. Now then, we'll get a good grip on it, and we'll go ahead and cock it like so. Don't touch that trigger till we're ready to shoot, and we're going to aim at the center of our target, and yes indeed, we're a couple of inches low, which is certainly more than accurate enough for our intended purpose here. Let's shoot it again. And of course that one went right in the little bullseye there. So, again, more than close enough for what we're talking about for defensive use. Now friends, what we're looking at here is the American Derringer DA-38, and this has a profile very similar to the high standard pattern of several years ago, except this is in 38 Special. You notice you don't have a trigger guard. It has one other important difference from the old high standard guns. It has a manual safety. When this is up, nothing will happen. The gun, the trigger cannot be pulled. Of course, it opens like this. We have the latch here on top. Pull it up. Of course, here it has an integral ejector there. And yes, it is dirty. Yes, we have been shooting this gun, but very finely made, an excellent concept. We know it's empty. Just close it, just push it down, and of course it locks up. Now then, to shoot the gun, we'll just push down on our safety there, and all you have to do is just pull the trigger. And it has alternating mechanism, so the top firing pin is hit, then the bottom. So this is very simple, and this may be an excellent idea for a lot of the ladies out there, someone who's not comfortable cocking a gun. This would be a tremendous option. It is a slim, and you can tell just how small it is, quite a bit smaller than the palm of my hand. Well, let's load it and shoot it. So we'll go ahead and lift the top there, and we'll put in our 38 Special bullet. Now all we have to do is just close it, push our safety down, and we've taped our target. Let's see what it looks like. Yes indeed, yes, we have a hole right above our bullseye there, and in fact right next to it. So more than adequate accuracy for the type scenario this gun is designed to be used in. Yes, it is more than accurate enough, and very finely made. Remember that the 38/357 shot cartridges are available for this little gun, and this would be an option for small pests or for snakes. And let's take a look at our other Derringer. This is the M1 in 45 Colt /410, and it works just like the M1 we looked at a few minutes ago. You have the lever here, and always be sure that safety is in place before you ever unlatch that barrel. And it just rotates up, and this particular gun, since it's a rimmed cartridge, you have an extractor or an ejector or whatever you want to call it. It pushes the empty hulls out there on the side. Now friends, let's go ahead, let's load one of our 0.00 buckshot loads here into our gun. And now let's put a 45 Colt shell in the other barrel. Let's go ahead and close the gun. Want to be very careful. Of course, we'll close our lever here. Yes, the hammer is in safe position. Want to be careful to keep your hands and fingers out from in front of that muzzle on these guns. You just can't be too careful. Certainly around any firearm, we always have to remain, and especially on these smaller guns, you can take them for granted, and they are in fact real and powerful guns. So we need to have a little extra measure of safety, certainly care in how we handle these guns, because we just don't want any accidents. Well, let's take a look at our 45 Colt, and let me caution you, with the small grips on these guns, if you have a large hand like I do, keep that thumb down low away from any of the parts up here, because it's going to snag you like it did me. It's all a matter of grip, so be sure and keep that thumb down away from your safety there or anything else. So let's take a look at it. Shooting the 45 Colt. Yes, that's no joke. You can see the hole there above our bullseye. And now then, let's shoot our buckshot with 3 different pellets in it. Let's see what the buckshot looks like on the target. Yes, 3 holes at one time there.
Just remember, friends, we still have the option of that 410 shot shell. Yes, that's potent. You know, friends, as shooting enthusiasts, all of us should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Shotgun News, Post Office Box 669, Hastings, Nebraska. That's zip 68902. Their phone number, area 402-463-4589. For MasterCard or Visa for subscriptions only, call them at 1-800-345-6923.
Now, friends, just to show you an example of the 40 caliber, the 45 Colt is a great old shell, and of course this is going to be a very versatile. In fact, what we need is more than one of these American Derringers. Let me show you the performance of the regular 45 Colt bullet on one of these water bottles here. Now just take a look. Okay. We have a hole in, hole out. Yes, we do have a leak there. All right. Now then, let me show you the tremendous Corbin load out of the same model Derringer, but the Corbin in 40 caliber. Let's take a look at it. I think you'll agree that 40 caliber Corbin makes this into a super powerful small gun. You know, friends, these Derringers really do have a place, and what would make it so important to have one of these, you know, if you are licensed to carry a concealed gun, you can carry a Derringer where no one would possibly ever know that you happen to have a gun, and this could be the one that would save your life. You know, personally, I'd rather face, if I had an adversary or had to be in a defensive confrontation, I'd rather have a shotgun or an AR-15 or a 41 Magnum or a Colt 45. But you know what? You can get the full-size gun power, one of the most effective power combinations for such a small gun. Well, out of 60 chambers, you just decide which one you want, but these guns are so well made from American Derringer. And you know, this could be the most important gun that you might own, because it would be the one that you might most likely have with you in the event of an altercation. This could be the gun, in fact, that might save your life or save the lives of your family, or certainly protect your property. So friends, I tell you what, these are tremendous guns, and we're so happy to have American Derringer as one of our new sponsors, and this is for real. You know, we've had them on the show before. We've always talked about how well made they were, how dependable they were, and we're very pleased to be working with those good folks now. Now, for information on American Derringers, on their entire product line, here's how to get it.
Now, friends, you can tell I am certainly impressed with these products from American Derringer. And for information, if you'd like to know more about their entire line, and remember, they make over 60 different chamberings, you can call them at 1-800-642-7817. Ask for information. 1-800-642-7817. The tremendous American Derringer Corporation. And remember, these small but powerful guns could be the single most important gun you own, because, in fact, being so small and so portable, they might be the absolute gun that you had with you at the time of an altercation, or you might have to defend your life. So give them a call, 1-800-642-7817.
That was our DA-38, ladies. And I plan on opening a shooting range, indoor and out, to teach women how to shoot. It will be Lady Derringer Incorporated. But as you can see, this little gun here fits in your hand nicely. There's no problem holding it. The grips fit your hands nice. And you don't even have to cock this. This is a double action. So this might be one of the guns that you might try to use for defense for short range, because it's definitely a nice little compact, nice looking gun.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today. Of course, you have met Elizabeth Saunders. You'll recognize her from a program a while back. And besides being a gun or shooting industry executive, well, Elizabeth has another side. She is a mother, besides being a working woman, a working mother, and has been here and or around Waco for most of your life, I think.
That's true.
And she knows what it is to raise children and have a family, and she is so concerned about what is going on in our country. And I admire this greatly because, you know, we've got to get the women involved.
That's absolutely correct. I feel that women play a bigger part now than they ever did when they were in the kitchen cooking for the children and making sure that, you know, they got their homework. Right now, we're at a position where we have to see that our rights are not taken away from us, the Second Amendment rights especially, because that is our children's future. The men are busy in the workplace, and we're in the workplace also, and I think we definitely make an impression on the men. And if we can get involved in this, then we'll be in a win-win situation.
You know, it's interesting what you said, Elizabeth. Now it's becoming somewhat fashionable for women or some of these congresswomen to talk about women in combat, you know, in certain areas. Okay, well, right now we have the most serious combat position that any of us have ever been in, probably since the Civil War, because literally we're fighting against forces that want to take away our way of life.
That's absolutely correct. And the problem is the apatheticness of the people nowadays is they don't really see it as a threat. They hear a little bit on TV and they're going, well, you know, I don't really care that much about guns, so it's not really a threat, but it's our Second Amendment that our forefathers fought for. And when it's gone, it's gone. You're not going to get it back. And what you need to do is make sure it isn't taken away from you.
Well, friends, we're so pleased. Elizabeth has literally volunteered to help us on this project. She's going to be relating and covering women's issues. In fact, she makes a line of guns that are more directed toward the needs of women. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And she works really hard on that. And you know, as I try and be as good a host as I can be, but I can never be a woman. Don't want to be. Wouldn't want to be. No, there's no one on our staff like that. But Elizabeth can certainly relate to a lot of you ladies, and we're so appreciative that she's going to be working with us because she can address issues that you know, might slip completely past me. So we're so pleased to have her. In fact, we're going to be talking some more about some things that Elizabeth thinks important, and I certainly agree with her.
Okay.
Well, Elizabeth, I do want to say that you really have a lovely home here. You're in such a pretty spot out here in the country. And tell me something, why do you personally have such an interest in firearms?
Well, that's easy because, number one, everybody should have the right to defend and protect themselves. In my 20s, I was attacked by a man who came up and blocked my car and wouldn't let me leave and tried to attack me. I was not protected. I did not have a firearm. I felt very vulnerable, and I do not ever want to be in that position again. So I'm definitely interested in protecting myself, and firearms is one of the best ways to do that.
Well, Elizabeth, I of course had no way of knowing that you had personally faced an attacker, but you know, we talked to so many women who, a number of them watch our program, that have had, now it's not unusual to have some sort of brush or altercation with a nut out there. Carjackings have become so prevalent, so many women now, and out of necessity. You know, we've had such a breakdown in our families and our homes. A lot of women have to work now, and a lot of them are working nights and have to go through long parking areas, and it's really a problem. And we find that some of our most ardent shooting supporters are women that have in fact been in, shall we say, a tight spot. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's one thing that we're constantly talking about on the show. The police, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, are never there when the crime occurs. And I'm sure you get a lot of correspondence with women.
That's absolutely correct, I do. And there's a lot of women who have been faced with similar experiences as me, and you know, they're very, very glad that they've had a firearm at the time. Mm-hmm. Other women who have gotten through it and didn't become, you know, killed over it, they immediately went and bought some protection and learned how to use it.
Well, you know, we have featured a number of different security products on our program, and we still sell pepper gas through our Bullet Express mail order and the little noise makers. And those are okay because sometimes that's all you can have, but in the end, they really can't protect you nearly as well, or certainly with the effect of a firearm.
That's correct.
And well, let's say that one of our lady viewers called you, and what gun would you recommend for a? Because in a lot of areas you can get concealed handgun licenses, and what would you recommend as far as a real good gun for one of our lady viewers? What would you suggest?
I would suggest our American Derringer 45-410, on the assumption that when you're in a position of being attacked by anyone, you don't have a lot of time to aim perfectly, to shoot in a perfectly targeted aim, and so the 410 does put out a spread pattern of 8 to 10 inches in diameter. And you can, in that pistol, you can put a 45-410 slug in one barrel, you can put a 45 long Colt in the other, and you can select it where the 410 is expelled first. That will get his attention, and generally one of the slugs is going to get him. And then if you do have to cock the gun again and that doesn't make him leave, then you'll have more of time to put the 45 long Colt into him if it's necessary.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, friends, this may be one of the most important sponsors that you'll see on this program. You know, our economy is in such strange habits now. We have so many unusual things going on with interest rates. Well, this may be an option for you. In America today, you have a right to bear arms and a right to own gold. Right now in America, forces are at work to take away your rights to bear arms. We know that. But did you know they are also trying to take away your right to own gold? The time to buy a gun is not after an attack. The time to buy gold is not after the market collapses. Call Swiss America at 1-800-289-2646, 1-800-BUY-COIN, and get a free copy of Your Right to Own Gold. It's a must-read for all gun owners who care about their freedom. Call today, 1-800-289-2646, 1-800-BUY-COIN. Don't wait until you lose your rights. Do it today. You know, some of you may be thinking you have to be wealthy to invest in gold or to buy gold. Well, that's just not the case. They're willing to work with you whether you have $50 to spend or $500,000. It's a free call. The information package is free. Friends, this could really affect your future. You know, it's really terrible we have to even talk about effects on an attacker, but you know, it's time that we get serious, that we face reality. I mean, this is the real world.
Absolutely.
Back when, let's say, 25 or 30 years ago, I personally remember, because I'm old enough, heck, I can remember, I'm 44, I can remember all the way back to the mid-1950s on how things were. And it wasn't like this then. And we're facing situations then, now that could not be imagined then. And women are really I'll say women are more in the crossfire, because typically you ladies don't have the strength because you're women. I mean, your girls aren't, or ladies aren't designed to be as strong or as physically large as most men, and you're at a disadvantage. And of course, who gets picked on by bad people?
The women.
The women, the children, and the older people.
Right.
So this is another thing. There are a lot of your guns would be very concealable, very handy for and shootable. You make, since you make so many different calibers. In fact, how many calibers do you make your guns in?
We make over 60 different calibers.
Oh my! So literally, there's something there that would fit almost every need that anyone could imagine for. And of course, your guns are for up close and personal defense. And in fact, our testing has showed up so well on the American Derringer products. And we're going to be talking about different calibers and things for different people, different loadings. Okay. So Elizabeth, since we're here, and obviously, folks, this is one woman who does not sit still. We got her still here this afternoon, but she is a person that is definitely involved in a lot of things.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you want to do?
Well, I'm definitely involved in a lot of things. My main objective right now is women and guns. I want to teach women who don't know how to shoot. I'm opening up 2 shooting ranges. I want to write some books illustrating the importance of these things. And then my second most priority is the Second Amendment that I feel that the Brady Bill is trying to take away from us. They're chiseling away little bit by little bit by little bit until I think that most of us are not even going to be aware when it happens that it's gone. And our forefathers fought for this. They died for this. And I want my children to have this in the future. I don't want it taken away. Well, I feel it's ridiculous to associate firearms with health conditions, for one.
What are we going to do? If you have a gang of people, and you have gangs literally running the streets all over America now, let's take all the guns away. All right, let's talk about that. If some power literally is successful in taking all the guns away, all right, and 4 or 5 members of a gang come to your house or to my house, what are we going to do? We're one person. Today, if you have a firearm, you can literally defend not only yourself, but your entire family. And for those ladies out there that we've talked about who have been in attacks or have been scared badly, you're not just one person. And we've said this before. You represent the feelings and, for that matter, the destiny of not only yourself, but your parents, your loved ones, your children, everyone who cares about you. Now, every last one of us that watching this program probably has, and maybe more than you realize, but all of us have 20, 25 people somewhere or another that are close to us and care about us. Yeah. And think about what it would do to them if, let's say, you are attacked, or you're not able to protect some member of your family. Think about what it's going to do to this entire circle of people. And friends, it's time to get serious. We're so glad to have Elizabeth working with us, because of these women's issues, and as hard as I try, I'll never be able to say some things as well as she will to you ladies.
It's just that my friends know when they come see me to call. I live out in the country, and you don't come out to my house and walk in my door, and everybody knows this. And I feel like if all the firearms were gone, anybody could come in and invade my home. Well, that's true. Sacrifice my children in maybe a violent manner, or me, and at this point they know they can't do that. I mean, they will know they can't do it if they try it, because I am definitely well prepared to defend myself, and I feel we have the right to defend ourselves, and that's what they're trying to take away from us. We're not the bad guys out there. They're taking away the guns from the people who are the good people. They're leaving it to the people who don't need to have them, because they will always be able to get them.
Well, that's true. They're
really opening up a new market for under-table sales of guns, and that's not the legal way to do it. And we're not trying to do anything illegal. We want gun safety. We want education on guns, and we don't want children to take guns to school, and I'm all for that. But I'm not for taking our guns away from us, who are the responsible citizens of the United States. You're not helping the matter there. You're increasing things in a negative way. You're taking our rights away from us, and I will always fight for that. No matter where I own a gun company or not, has irrelevance to it.
Well, look how well the U.S. government controls illegal drugs. Now let's look what a fantastically fine, sterling job the government is doing controlling illegal drugs.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, do these people really believe that they're going to be able to control the flow of illegal guns and ammunition, because there are a lot of honest people who will do whatever's necessary to protect their family. And you know what? If I've talked to people who would never buy illegal drugs under any circumstance, but you let somebody in their family get hurt, and you see if they won't buy an illegal gun, whatever they can get to defend themselves and their family. Well, Elizabeth, there's one other little thing we need to talk about. Let's talk about the Miss Shootin' Show contest. What do you think?
Okay. I think that's great.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the head judge of the Miss Shootin' Show contest. Elizabeth is going to help us coordinate that. And what we want to do is we want to get more women involved in shooting and gun ownership and in elections. Elizabeth here certainly, look, she's not beyond running for whatever office she darn sure needs to.
Definitely considering that.
So, and believe me, Elizabeth Saunders would not be a person that any other legislator could run over, shall we say. Not successfully. But we are really, and of course I get phone calls and letters from around the country, and a lot of men watch our show, and their wives sit there and watch it with them, and we do get constant mail and calls about, well, can't you have more women on the shooting show? Well, we're about to, yes, in fact.
I think that's a great idea, Johnny.
Well, and it's more than a beauty contest. We'll make that clear. No, I am not going to be a judge. No, I'm not.
Now, why not?
Well, someone might say, well, that I was biased, and this is going to be strictly a 100%.
Maybe just a little bit.
Well, and yeah, I can, like a friend of mine said the other day, he said, well, his vote could be bought off. Well, he's not going to get to be a judge either. So, seriously, what we want to do is we're going to have a Miss Shootin' Show contest, and we're going to make this into an annual affair. And what we'd like is for any of you ladies out there, you do not have to be, there's no, you probably need to be over 18, I would think, because there's some travel involved. Wouldn't you think? Probably, we're going to say that as long as you're over 18 years of age, and we're going to give away 2 free tickets to Las Vegas for Miss Shootin' Show, whoever she may be, and her significant other. Whether she's married, it's immaterial to us. If some of you ladies want to bring your husbands, that's great, because what we'd like to do is have a female representative of our efforts, of what we're doing. So we're going to give the 2 free tickets to Las Vegas, and Miss Shootin' Show is going to be in the Shootin' Show booth at the Soldier of Fortune Convention. And of course, we'll have a hotel accommodations and no money for gambling. Forget that. No. That's out. But she will be in our booth at the Soldier of Fortune Convention and sign autographs and meet people, and she'll be delivered a certificate or citation of some sort at the Soldier of Fortune banquet, which is a big deal. It is a major event there, and it's something that anyone would enjoy. It'd be a great trip for a couple, or in fact, if she's not married, she might want to bring some family member or someone along. That'll be great. It'd really be a most memorable trip, very pleasant. Of course, extreme. This is probably the safest convention you'd ever go to anyway. And of course, we would take all sorts of measures to be sure that everything's in order, of course. But the winner also gets a free course at Gunsight down in Paulden, Arizona. Rich G., another one of our judges, is going to give the winner of Miss Shootin' Show contest a free Gunsight course in shooting, in defensive handgun shooting, and it'll just be great.
I think that will really be great.
So what we want the ladies to do is send us a videotape. If you don't have a camcorder, borrow somebody's camcorder and go down to one of the local electronics outfits or one of the discount houses, get you just a regular old VHS tape now, and no more than 5 minutes in length. Tell us why, in fact, you believe in our rights to keep and bear arms. Tell us why, in fact, you support the Shootin' Show. And the third thing is why you'd like to be Miss Shootin' Show. What do you think?
I think you got a great idea, Johnny. I know you got a winner there because you got women involved.
Well,
you have a winning situation there.
Well, I think you're right, and I think it's going to be something that whoever wins this thing, and like I said, I'm out of it. Yourself and a few other people are going to be the judge, but go ahead and send us a regular VHS tape if you'd like to be Miss Shootin' Show, and we'll look forward to getting that in. And this is the SOF convention is in this fall, which is, we have plenty of time, but please go ahead and get your tapes into us, and I think it's something that you'll really enjoy. And it will, trust me on this one, the Soldier Fortune Convention is a great trip. It's really a lot of fun, and you'll meet some of the nicest people. You meet a lot of our viewers, in fact. And you're planning on being there this year, I think.
Yes, I hope, yes.
So, all right. Heck, you can come by and meet Elizabeth Saunders, too. So.
Thank you.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
I'd like to welcome you here to Gunsight. The training that you'll get here will perhaps be some of the most meaningful training that you'll ever get.
Good job. Okay, down the guard, finger straight, looking good. Pick it up. Move out. Next shooter, step on up. Ease across. Snipe press. Shoot.
Now, friends, for information on the tremendous training center out at Gunsight in Paulden, Arizona, give us a call at 1-800-895-7916, Department Gunsight. We'll pass the information on to them, your name, address, and phone number, and they will send you an information package. They have tremendous training sessions available. They also have terrific products in their gunsmithing. A lot of you are really going to be interested in this, so give us a call, 1-800-895-7916, Department Gunsight, and we'll get that information out to you. And friends, if you're serious about home defense, self-defense, or hunting, you need to stock up on Corbon ammunition, the absolute best ammunition money can buy, period. Corbon Bullet Company. Their phone number, 1-800-626-7266. Call them, find out where you can get their ammunition locally, or if you're a dealer, give them a call about setting up your own dealership. Corbon Ammunition, 1-800-626-7266. Corbon, the absolute best there is. Friends, we hope you're enjoying today's program as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you. You'll recognize this young man here on my left, Leroy Scott, our counsel for our program, and he and I are going to be talking about some things in just a second that everyone needs to know about. Let me remind you, the National Tactical Invitational Match, it's their number 4, is going to be held June 2, 3, and 4 out at Gunsight Training Center in Paulden, Arizona. And some of you out there might want to actually enter this match. This would be one of the ultimate tests against professional people from all over the country. They do have some spots available. Now, who's invited to attend? Anyone who can show that he or she has a grasp of dynamic gun handling skills. This can be shown by prior training, participation in shooting sports such as IPSC, PPC, or similar shooting skills by an entrance career, as in the case of police officers or businessmen who have reason to carry firearms. Friends, this is a great test of your own abilities, and this would really be a dose of the real world. They have a terrific training program in the contest itself. It is a contest, and it uses factory ammunition. It uses guns that you would normally carry and use for self-defense. So go ahead and give Gunsight a call. That area 602-636-4565. Get the information on the National Tactical Invitational Match. I will get it out The NTI match is going to be June 2, 3, and 4 of this year. Some of you may want to enter this because we have some very highly qualified, some people who would really probably place well or might even win that match. So please do that if you're interested in that. We're going to be having some coverage of the NTI match here on the show. Well, Judge, sir, you know what? The boys and girls in Washington are up to their old tricks. They want to take away this Colt Sporter. They want to take away this 1911, which has been around all these years. What do you think?
I think they want to take everything away, Johnny.
Well, what are we going to do about it?
Well, one thing you can do. The House of Representatives supposedly is going to vote sometime this week on a gun ban bill that is absolutely separate from the crime bill. And the Clinton administration admits that they are 15 to 20 votes shy at the present time. If they admit 15 to 20, you can bet that it's a lot more. In any event, now is the time to tell your legislators to stand firm. Stand firm. And be sure to call them, tell them how strongly you feel about this matter, that firearms prevent crime, or used in the prevention of crime, about 2.4 million times a year. And who is going to pay the hospital costs of all the people that are injured when those firearms are no longer available?
That's an awfully good point. In fact, you were talking about earlier, the crime rate has actually, tremendous numbers of people are buying firearms for the first time, learning to use them. The crime rate has actually gone down.
Johnny, the FBI statistics just released show that the crime rate has steadily decreased over the past few years as gun ownership has increased. There are now over 200 million firearms in the hands of citizens of the United States, 99.9% of them law-abiding citizens, and the crime rate goes down, the population goes up, the gun ownership goes up, and crime rate is still down.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, as we've said before, friends, you've heard us say it before on the show, this type gun, this is not an assault gun, in fact. The average citizen can't buy an assault gun anyway because by the government's own definition, an assault gun is full auto. It has the full auto capability that guns like this Colt Sporter, like the SKS, like the M1A, these guns do not have the full auto capability. Friends, they're lying. The media is lying to the rest of the population. These guns are used less than 1%. Rifles of any type are used less than 1% of the time in actual crimes that occur. Now, why do you think that these people, some of these knuckleheads up there, are so intent on taking away semi-automatic rifles from us? You know why? Because with these guns, the citizen militia, and that's not the National Guard, the citizen militia, the citizens out here can literally defend not only their homes but also defend their rights as American citizens. We can in fact take the government back if we ever had to. That's why they want these guns. That's why this fight is so desperate. Friends, we cannot let them get away with it. You've got to write, telegraph, hitchhike to Washington, if nothing else, and tell these people we're not going to let them do it.
Well, Johnny, it's important for people to know. The Second Amendment's has been grossly confused. The right to keep and bear arms predated the Constitution. It predated the Revolution, and the Second Amendment was simply adopted to tell the government, don't mess with it.
Well, as you're saying, it was this was a right that was accepted to belong to the individual. This dates back from Old English law, doesn't it?
That's correct. That's correct. In fact, under English law, it's interesting to read it if you'll read the report of the Special Committee on the Constitution of the Senate Justice Committee. In England, they were required to bring their longbows to church so that after church they could practice.
Well, isn't that something? Well, friends, something else you can do is join our Shootin' Show Gun Club, because you're helping us by joining our gun club. You're helping us reach more people all over this country. We cannot allow these anti-gun, these Nazi socialist types, and you can get that book from us here at the Shootin' Show through the Bullet Express. We can't allow them to ride roughshod over our rights as American citizens. We're not going to take it. We're not. You can join the Shootin' Show Gun Club. Your $25 annual membership fee helps keep us on the air, helps us reach more people. You will get your discounts through the Bullet Express, our catalog, and we'll send you out our aims and what we're all about with the Shootin' Show Gun Club. We need your help, friends, and please call your congressman, call your senator, write to them, telegraph. We don't have that much time this week. We don't know how it's going to go. These people can be stopped that want to disarm us, friends. We have got to do it. We need your help today.
Johnny, you're the best huckster we have.
Well, friends, today we have a couple of very important rifles, one of which is the Springfield M1A, which is very similar. It's a semi-automatic version of the M14, the U.S. military rifle from the mid-1950s. It's even in limited use even until today, still being used by some of our military forces, and one of the very best weapons of its type. It's in .308 Winchester, 7.62 caliber, and this, of course, is your Colt Sporter, but it looks a lot like an AR-15, and it's taken, this basic gun is taken certainly from the AR-15 military type rifle. You know, there's been a lot of controversy over the years on which gun was best. We went into Vietnam having this gun, this M14, and this incantation is the M1A from Springfield, and a lot of the troops there in jungle warfare, it was a little bit large, I think, for your South Vietnamese type soldier who were smaller people, and in the jungle type warfare, it is a rather large rifle. It was thought to be a little bit unhandy and somewhat maybe overpowered, and along comes the AR-15, which I believe started with a move on the Air Force part as a small, light, high-capacity rifle to be used by the Air Force, and it was so effective in jungle-type warfare that the rest of the services decided that it would be good for them too. But as recently as Desert Storm, we saw a good number of the M14s being taken out of mothballs there and used by some of our troops, because you do have a much more powerful cartridge over long distances than the 223. And let's take a look. You can see from the picture the comparison between the 223, the smaller cartridge, and of course the .308 Winchester, the other cartridge there is a huge difference. Now the 223 exits the muzzle of this Colt Sporter at about, it's a 55 grain bullet, at roughly 3,150 feet per second. It has about 1,200 or so foot-pounds of energy with that 55 grain bullet. And the military is using other weight bullets. They're using a 68 grain bullet that run quite as fast. I'm going to assume the muzzle energy is about the same. Whereas the .308 bullet here with, this happens to be a Winchester silver tip, 150 grain bullet, moves at about 2,700 feet per second for, roughly 2,300 foot-pounds of energy. So you're looking at a tremendous amount of energy difference.
Well, of course, since we've run out of time on today's show, we're going to come back to our M1A and our Colt Sporter on next week's program. Meanwhile, friends, thank you so much for being with us for this edition of the Shootin' Show. We look forward to seeing you next time on another Shootin' Show. Remember to write those congressmen. Now give them a call, telegraph them, whatever it takes, because we're not going to let these people win. We're not going to let them take our guns away.